My name is Joseph Epperson, and I'm doing my presentation on the First Crusade and the true motivation of the soldiers in the Middle Ages. My thesis is that the Knights of the Crusade did not go for purely religious reasons, but I believe that they went because they saw the Crusades as an opportunity for monetary gain and other incentives such as that. Now, what caused the First Crusade? The Seljuks, a Muslim tribe in Turkey, started to expand into the Byzantine Empire, and so their leader, Alexios I, sent word to Pope Urban II to help him. And so in 1095, Pope Urban gave his famous speech at Clermont, which incited the First Crusade. And this is Pope Urban. Now, at Pope Urban's speech at Clermont, he appealed to the listeners' hatred of Muslims. He talked about the suffering of the Christians in the areas conquered by the Muslims, and he told them that it was God's will that everyone go to fight. And now he promised the people forgiveness of sins, which, while being religious in nature, is not a religious reason to go on the Crusades. They were not going to help the suffering Christians in the area. They were going because they wanted forgiveness of their sins. Now, this is a map of the Crusades and the directions that they used for that. Okay, now in the First Crusade, the armies left the West in 1096, the year following the speech at Clermont. And before they even got to the Holy Land, this was the first time that you can see that they were not going for religious reasons. Now, branches of the People's Crusade were slaughtering the Jewish population in Germany, and they were stealing their land, their money, and their resources, and they were massacring thousands of the people in the Jewish population. Now here we have some of the major events in the First Crusade. Now, while a lot of this may seem like them trying to go and help reclaim the cities from the Muslims, that's not what they were mostly doing. They were conquering the cities, and they were keeping them for themselves. Now, if you look at the Second Crusade, and here's some major events from that, the Crusaders still had control of the cities that they conquered in the First Crusade. They did not give them back to the Jewish population, which they had massacred, nor had they given them back to the Byzantine Empire, who had called them to come and help them. But they were still in control of the cities 45 years after the end of the First Crusade. And now, if you get to the Third Crusade, you see that the Muslim leader of that time was much more merciful than the Crusaders were. And so many of Pope Urban's reasons for them going were not accurate. And here you have more events from the Third and Fourth Crusade. Now, the temporal privileges of the knights were given to the knights by Pope Urban, and the knights were granted remission of sin, freedom from debt, and protection of land. Now, these are not religious reasons. Now, to conclude, while some of the Crusaders may have had religious reasons for going, that was not what the overall reason was. The knights went for incentives that were given to them by the Pope. They wanted, as you can see, remission from sin, freedom of debt, and protection of land. And so, I don't believe that they went for religious reasons. I believe that these are the reasons that they went.